Hello, cheers from the New American Media mug. If you want one, shoot me a Venmo. $40 includes the shipping. It's a fundraiser for the show. It helps keep the lights on over here. Venmo, of course, I'll put at the bottom of the screen, along with PayPal, Cash App. And the reminder that we have Rumble Rants and Super Chats and Patreon ways to support the program. What program is it? Well, let's do the intro. Hope you had a great weekend. Broadcasting to you live from the Orion Spiral Arm of the Milky Way Galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of Tehran, where maybe a peace deal will be signed today. We shall see. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Monday, April 20, 2026. And this right here, the thing that you are watching, well, it is called the TNAM Daily Show. Let's make that big. TNAM Daily Show. What does TNAM stand for? It stands for the New American Media, because the old American media has failed you. On today's program, we're going to discuss Ilhan Omar. She's a 30 millionaire. No, wait, she's broke. Sorry, just a little rounding error. Just a couple of digits off. Yeah, we didn't want to tell people where all this money's at, because now you're asking too many questions. So don't worry. I totally didn't marry my brother. Don't throw me in jail for treason. Is Ilhan Omar going to be held accountable? I don't know, but we're going to talk about it. Also, the 2020 CIA. Well, is it a 2020 CIA coup, a deep state coup, a Democrat coup, a RINO coup, a New World Order coup? Strange bedfellows do enemies make. I don't know ideologically how aligned any of this stuff is. No idea. It's sort of one of those enemy of my enemy is my friend, so I'll just go along with it type things. But there are details on the coup. Rumblings that Kash Patel might be leaving. The betting markets are starting to shift on that. Maybe people know some stuff. Who knows? It's a soap opera. Hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button, however you're watching. Last week was a week of there were a lot of things during the midday that were causing the show to get bumped a little bit. So there's that. Today we went on time. So I appreciate you all for being here. We've been doing the TNAM Daily Show for we've been doing the New American Media for 15 years because we are trying to figure out what's happening in this strange world. We appreciate your support. Share the show with your friends. We want to double the show, then double the double, then double the double, the double the double. Biggity, biggity, biggity bop. And it's through your support that would make that happen. Okay. All those stories and more are going to be discussed on today's program, so buckle up, Buttercup. The TNAM Daily Show starts now.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
All right. Thanks for being here. want you all to follow our Instagram page for the New American Media. Let's go ahead and get this up on the screen. Instagram, what is this? Our stories go side by side. It's a great way to find us over here. We do so many different shows, so much different content on so many different platforms. What's up, everybody in chat? David, yeah, I was just listening to a Louder with Crowder episode. You can see my interview with the CEO, Gerald, from Louder with Crowder at the Milwaukee 2024 convention on our YouTube channel and on Rumble, I believe. But yeah, they were doing a deep dive into Canada. Stephen Crowder is Canadian, of course. So, Canada, our neighbors to the north. Oy vey. Can I say oy vey? What's the deal with Canada? Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. This whole country is a bit of a mess. But we're working it out, folks. We're doing the best we can with what we got, are we not? Doing the best we can with what we got. And we got each other in chat. Hello to Trash Panda, Texas. Hello to Lake Leon and everybody else. Thank you for being here. Share the show. Hit the thumbs up button. And let's go through our Instagram feed. What is this guy up to? I don't know Will Davies official. It won't give me a preview of the account. But this dude's just walking. And it says, I'm on my way to dinner. Fully prepared to ruin everyone's night with... Elections are rigged. Children are trafficked. Pandemics are planned. Wars are manufactured. Vaccines are poison. Phones are surveillance. Astronauts are actors. Doctors are dealers. Politicians are puppets. Studies are sponsored. Policies are lobbied. And pedophiles are in charge. Hope you had a great dinner. All right, tell me in chat, question of the day. How many of you are this person? You try to go out or you're with people and you just end up talking about the serious stuff and, you know, maybe that's not appreciated by everybody in the room. Have you ever been in a situation like that? I know. I really do try. I try to hold my cards close to my vest. And once I figure out, hold on, permission to speak freely. Like, are you a normal person? Like, are you, like, do you get it? Are you with it? Are we good? All right, cool. I have thoughts. Howdy to Marion, too. Thank you, Marion. Thank you for being here. Marion was doing what this weekend? You always have interesting weekends. You're doing a cat rescue the one time. John, what were you up to? You're probably carving knives and making honey. John doesn't make honey. The bees make honey. Yes, I know. His apiary was making honey. David says, I'm one of them. Well, bravo. How was your weekend, David? Yeah, David is one of those people that has the conversation. It's like, oh, David, must you get into all of these topics? It's like, what else is there? I can only shoot the shit about, like, irrelevant, inconsequential stuff for so long. Yeah, I saw a couple of these posts and enjoyed them. You know what? I didn't follow the last person. Maybe I should follow him. I can't see the preview of the account, though. Oh, well. Usually get a preview. Okay, in case you need a reason to unfollow me or unfollow TNAM for that matter, let's go through this list. I believe there are two genders. I believe the system is built to control, not empower. I believe school is a scam and teaches compliance, not creativity. I believe big pharma and big food profit from keeping us sick, addicted, and tired. I believe health doesn't come from uphill. It starts with what you eat, how you move, and how you think. I believe parents should question everything, especially when it comes to their kids. I believe in bodily autonomy and saying no, especially when it's unpopular. And I believe that the truth matters more than being liked. So there you go. We're starting off with some mantras, if you will. Some nice daily reminders of who we are not, what we're tolerating, how we're built, and what matters. Friends matter. Marion had a crawfish boil with friends. Do you do that thing where you suck the head? I admit I have not done that thing. I admit that I have not done that thing. Does that make me a bad American? I've not done that. Yeah. Nope. Haven't done it. I do like some crawfish. Here's a friendly reminder that calling people racist when they don't agree with you, it's getting boring. By the way, if someone printed this sign and had agree with as one word, you're not doing anybody any favors with that. You know, with AI, everything's fake. I don't assume anything's a real sign. But instead of people calling you racist, people calling people racist when you, I can't read this right. Calling people racist when they don't agree with you is getting boring. Has been boring for 40 years. I change it to that. Has been boring for decades. Get better arguments. Be better people. Less people will dislike you. Just be a good person and people will like you. That's it. All people applied. Be a good person. Don't harm kids. Don't harm others. Stay peaceful. Because it's boring. Now, this story, David Harris Jr. shared this from Inside Edition. Okay, Marion says, no, I just eat the tails. Yeah, I eat the tails. They're like little lobsters, right? Little ocean bugs, little creek bugs. Nothing from the sea. I will eat nothing from the sea. So, what is that? This one would go out to Kenneth. I know Mondays and Tuesdays. Kenneth has been busy the last week or two, has he not? Showing up later in the show. But I know Mondays and Tuesdays, he's a little bit late. Yes, I am your bartender. Belly on up to the bar. We're talking about all the stories on the TVs behind us. And like I said at the beginning, we work off tips. So Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. You can drop tips directly on YouTube and Rumble, as well as signing up to be a monthly supporter on YouTube or Rumble or Patreon. All ways to keep your bartender smiling and happy so he can pay his tab at the end of the night. All right. But this one is for Kenneth because Kenneth gives me vibe checks if I get too worked up over stories. And Lord help me, man. We find some doozies. We are trash pandas, are we not, John? John makes those images reminding us that we are the trash pandas, rifling through the rubbish, separating fake news from fact. Nimbus, do you want to come up? I see a buddy over here. I'm going to lift you. Mr. Nimbus has joined the chat. We're matching. We both have gray on today. Mr. Nimbus, the distinguished gentleman, wanted to come up here. His jumps, it's getting a little tougher for his jumps. He's getting some mobility issues, and he's getting his treatment, but he's been on his treatment for a while. I know. We're sort of accepting a new normal, aren't we? But that's part of it, you know, part of aging and part of caring and part of learning and loving. Hi, Nimbus. People always love seeing you here. Let me set you down so you can. There you go. Okay. Yep, I got you. There you go. Okay. But this is a nice story. This is a vibe check story in honor of Kenneth. I hope he rolls back through the show and watches this. This is from Inside Edition. A police officer in Arizona rescues a bruised toddler from an abusive... Don't step on the computer, sir. Remember when I set that chair right next to this so that you could have a place to sit and not change the channel on my device? Police officer was so moved that he adopted her.
Body cam footage captured the moment after a call came in that a 2-year-old girl may have been abused,
Oh, they got music behind this. I can't have music.
allegedly by her mother and her mother's boyfriend, who were both taken into custody.
She's got left, right, center, and a pretty good black eye.
Back
I mean, imagine, I don't want organized crime in the streets posing as law enforcement. I don't want that. I don't want abusive people. I don't want money generating vampires and leeches just trying to mess up everybody's day in life. If you're not harming someone, let them be. Leave people alone. Nobody wants cops that are going to act like that. But man, they do some nice stuff from time to time. Going to help out this innocent girl from being abused and then going an extra step is pretty cool.
Back at the police station in Kingman, Arizona, as they waited for child services to show up, Officer Zach and Kyla watched the Disney movie Wreck-It Ralph.
And you're adorable.
Right there, a remarkable bond developed. When his shift
was over, Officer Zach went home, but he says he couldn't stop thinking about the precious child.
A remarkable thing happened.
The DCS worker asked the question that changed our life, and it was, would you consider
being a placement for her? I met her Saturday night, and Wednesday night she was dropped off at our house. She's going to work on the bike. 2 years later, Kayla has been formally adopted by the Zach family.
Congratulations.
This weight was lifted because I knew that I didn't have to worry about who was going to be taking care of her, who was going to be loving her.
Body cam footage.
Well, that's pretty nice. I love him. Stupid music in the background. I had to keep muting it and talking over it so you don't have a 90-second clip of audio and then YouTube says, hey, you don't get to monetize today's show. You worked for free. Can't be doing that. But this is nice. I get very tired of the cops are always bad stuff. No. The bad people are always bad. Occasionally they're cops, and you take care of them. You indict them. But for the most part, man, we need the crumb bums off the streets. And, yeah, don't want to give all cops a bad name.
Body cam footage.
Michael,
And anyone that's ever had to step in and try to help out a family in need, you know what I'm talking about. And if you are a cop, this is how quick things can happen. Pinellas County Sheriff's Office in Florida. Routine traffic stop. I mean, this looks trying to figure out how to say this. It feels completely staged. It's almost too unbelievable.
Yo, you want to hop out of the car for me real quick? He's suspended. The car smells like weed. I'm just going to do a search. You don't need to do my bag? Yeah, just leave it there. Leave it there.
Marquise, get a bag!
Goes the bag. Starts running.
Go get him, bro. Go get him. Run, bro!
Got the video game.
Stop fighting, bro. Bro, it's a zip of weed, bro. Stop! I'll shoot! It's not that serious, bro. Hey, HP3, you good?
Uber driver says, get in.
Go!
Mario Kart's on the screen? A drive-by tasing?
Stop, get down. Get down. Get down. It's my bag. It's my bag. Put the phone down. Lay down on your stomach. Can you please say? Lay down on your stomach. Mom.
Michael, you want to hop out of the car for me real quick?
Then a rideshare Uber minivan pulls up out of nowhere, picks up the fleeing deputy to help catch the fleeing suspect. This was wild. This was wild. Good on the Uber driver. Yeah, Marion, that adoption story is nice. This just seemed like out of a movie, this whole interaction.
Michael, you want to hop out of the car?
I warned you guys about Tucker.
All right. What's this dude saying about Tucker Carlson?
I warned you guys about Tucker Carlson.
But it's not about Tucker Carlson. It's about fake Jesus.
And I've told people that he and Candace Owens are preparing people for the biblical antichrist and false prophet. Many of you didn't believe me. Take a look at this recent post he put up, or his network put up. Now, the other day I did a video condemning the actions of Trump sharing that picture to his page that depicted him as Jesus. Trump eventually removed it, which is good. But listen to what...
Question of the day, remind me in the comments. 1 to 10 scale, how offended were you by Trump resharing an image that somebody sent him? Bless you, Nimbus. How offended were you of the Trump at a hospital bed laying hands on somebody alongside with a nurse right there? And Trump said, the image was of me as a doctor. Well, as a healer, laying hands on people. 1 to 10, how offended were you by it? I don't know. I don't have the bandwidth to care about it. We're in the meme culture. You slap people's faces on X-Men characters. You slap them on deities. You slap them on, it's like, now I'm the starting pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Sorry, the Cleveland Guardians. David wasn't offended at all. Are you kidding me? No. Yeah, well, what about when Trump said he's going to nuke an entire people? Never said the word nuke. In fact, he's been anti-nuke his whole fucking life, as far as I can mostly remember. Mainly the big sticking point is that they won't stop their nuclear enrichment programs, which is the big crux of the problem. But hey, who am I? No, he's going to wipe out a whole civilization. Yeah, it's saber rattling. Do you know where the phrase saber rattling comes from? Well, maybe look to a region of the planet where sabers have been rattling. And yeah, hey, how about this? Maybe if there was a little bit more saber rattling prior to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, maybe the other side would have got the hint and laid down and stopped. Just like the guy getting chased. Now you got tased. Are you done yet? None of this had to go this way. None of this needs to be this way. You are making things unnecessarily difficult, painful for you. Are you done yet? Mercy, mercy, mercy. Twisting the arms. Yeah, goose egg for Lake Leon. David, to me, it was another distraction. It was. But regardless, I do not claim to have every piece of information biblically. I'm infinitely curious to listen to people talk about stuff like this. It's not an endorsement. But this dude is talking about Islam and Christianity and false prophets, and I found it interesting.
Tucker said, the people in charge don't want you to know this, but Muslims love Jesus. What if I've been telling you guys that this is how Muslims get Christians? But that's not all. Islam reveres him as a major prophet and messenger of the Lord, believes he performed miracles, and states that, listen to this next part, please listen to this next part, that he will return to earth to defeat the Antichrist. So the Tucker Carlson network is promoting Islamic Jesus, dropping seed in people's ear, saying that he will come back to the earth and he will defeat the Antichrist. He has millions of listeners. And those that don't know the Bible nor Islam will say, okay, Jesus is coming back to defeat the Antichrist, just like we Christians believe. So then in that Christian's mind, which many of them are baby Christians and don't know any better, they think when they see a Jesus appear and he says, I'm going to defeat the Antichrist, they're going to think it's Jesus of the Bible. But let's go into more of what Islamic Jesus is. First thing you need to know, in Islam, they don't believe that Jesus was crucified. They don't believe he died nor resurrected. They believe that Allah or God took him to heaven, and that he'll come back in the future to testify against Christians and tell us that we got it wrong. According to their hadiths, they say the hour will not be established until the Son of Mary, Jesus, descends amongst you as a just ruler. He will break the cross. It says he will break the cross. So not only does this Jesus that comes back say that he wasn't crucified, testifies against us, but as a symbol of that, he breaks a cross. Hey, you guys, I'm Jesus. And to prove to you that I didn't die, I'm going to break this cross and nothing's going to happen to me. He's going to break a cross. People are going to be like, oh my gosh, we got it wrong about Jesus. Now, Islam's version of the Antichrist, this is important to know. They say that the Antichrist will be king of the Jews. Seen as that. Seen as the Jewish Messiah.
Well, then that couldn't be Jesus, because Jesus is not viewed as the Messiah. In fact, the Jews and the Romans crucified Jesus. They did not like what he was saying.
Will have followers from Iran.
So he's definitely not the leader of Judaism.
He will lie and say that he can send people to heaven or hell. He'll have heaven and hell with him. That he'll claim to be God, he'll want worship, and he'll claim to be Lord. And the Hadith says the most awful name in Allah's sight on the day of resurrection will be of a man calling himself the King of Kings. Who's called the King of Kings in the
Yeah, where does that phrase come from?
Bible? The real Jesus. Who are many Iranian Muslims seeing in their dreams and coming to? The real Jesus. Who died on a cross and resurrected? The real Jesus. If he's not your Lord and Savior, where do you go? The lake of fire, eventually, and hell now. If you do, you go to heaven. He is God in the flesh and he is Lord. 60% of what they teach about the Antichrist matches biblical Jesus, while their Jesus matches the biblical false prophet who's literally said to be a fake Jesus in Revelation 13. Tucker's indoctrinating people to receive the false prophet of the book of Revelation and to deny the real Jesus of the Bible. I warned you guys about Tucker Carlson.
All right, so this stuff goes deep. What do you think about this in the comments? Do you think Tucker secretly converted to Islam? Do you think Tucker is getting talking points and scripts? I think he's being very well compensated by Qatar or Saudi Arabia. Carlson, Tucker Carlson. I don't know. David says it sounds like he's actually talking about the Antichrist. Yep, and if you can mingle and mangle words, you can set policy. Oh, Mr. Nimbus. He had a rough day again last week. A couple days ago. Bad days for Nimbus or bad days for all of us. Poor guy. Trying to figure out exactly what it is. If it's a timing schedule of when he needs to eat, when he must eat, if he's overeating, is he over drinking the water? He's just getting so weak. You can just feel it. He's just like falling over. Yeah, is any of this even real? Oh gosh, it's Super Bear. What's up, Super Bear? Haven't seen you in a while. Oh God, can I remember where he's at? Connecticut. Please tell me it's Connecticut. It's northeast somewhere. Or did I say Connecticut last time and I got it wrong? David asks, is any of this even real? I don't know. So close, it's not Connecticut. New Hampshire. Are you the live free or die state? Maine, you're a Mainer. Vermont, doggone it, Vermontpelier. Doggone it. I'm going to figure this out, Super Bear. I'll have to think of like a Care Bear or something wearing a big V on his sweatshirt. For V for Vermont. I have V for Vendetta. You'll have V for Vermont. That's tough to say. V for Vermont. Been very busy with school. Yep, focus on school. Hit us up when you can. And hey, maybe we'll be live early morning and late night moving forward. Who knows? We could change that in the future. But yes, calling him a cute cat, Mr. Nimbus. 20 years. Well, there you go. 20 years young. Nimbus, they love you as usual. I don't know. I'm curious to follow the career.
I warned you guys about Tucker
Carlson. Obviously popular, but obviously many people are claiming he's out. He's out of the movement. Whatever that even means. I mean, he used to be a bow tie wearing dude on CNN and then went Fox and then MAGA and then now whatever this. Many have called it pro-Islam. Almost like a salesman. Almost like how much would it cost for you to read some pleasant scripts for the people? By the way, speaking of pleasant scripts, so we have doctors writing scripts. See what I did there? Happy 420 today to all of you who celebrate. And of course, if you are celebrating the birthday of Adolf Hitler, I admonish you. That is not good. That is what happened on 420, April 20th. You just want to smoke a bowl, man. Just can't hang out, dude. Are you secretly burning something up? And is your heart burning for a man that was born on this day? I got questions about all of you that are sparking up on 420. But happy 420 to those of you who participate. That is today. Yes. All right, Barack Obama. Speaking of what Tucker's into these days, Kwanzi says, not to mention what Obama is trying to do in Virginia. What's he trying to do in Virginia with the help of Spanberger, the CIA asset? Oh, it's what they want to do to the entire country, and we're done. We are absolutely cooked if we let any of these clowns get away with any of this. So oppose them immediately, as strongly as possible. Here he is pushing something in Virginia.
A yes vote in Virginia will further divide America so I can ensure you become a slave to me as I have plans to conquer America. A vote of no in Virginia limits my abilities to enslave you. A yes vote.
Yeah, we played that on the tail end of our Friday show. But the longer clip with his real voice, lying about his intentions, where I think that one pretty much sums it up.
Hey, Virginia. Early
Hey, Virginia.
voting is underway, and Virginians are turning out in record numbers to vote yes.
No way.
By voting yes, you have a chance to do something important.
No.
Not just for the Commonwealth, but for our entire country. By voting yes,
We will, look, we're going to steal this nation. Look, we're 5 days away from fundamentally transforming Virginia politics. MAGA mumbo jumbo. Look, Spanberger, look, she was in the CIA for a lot of years. A trained asset. She would have never told you what the true Marxist ideology was. Otherwise, she would have never got elected. You know that. I know that. You know that. The American people know that. But look, you want to support her now. Look, I'm pointing at you. I'm talking to you. Look at that that finger motion. You know, they say you're supposed to do the thumb like Slick Willie, but I like the finger point. Kind of right in my bony bird chest. You know, kind of like, hey, Obama, hey, right there, into the sternum. You know, like, hey, Virginia, look, you're just 5 days away from fundamentally transforming Virginia into, you know, what's that other guy say? We don't say his name. He's like Voldemort, that MAGA guy, that orange guy. Or like Bloody Mary, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Oh, there he is. Look, we got to do what it takes. As evidenced on 2020. Weaponized COVID, a lot of mail-in. Joe Biden, 81 million totally legitimate votes. I'm sorry, poke. Look, we might be getting busted for this now. So we got to build these strongholds starting in Virginia. And we need your support to fundamentally transform this United States of America. And yes, David, look, before we go, let me just address David Bann. Number one, you're up there in Canada, so shut the fuck up. But number two, I'm not Al Obama. Oh, I'm sorry. That says AI Obama. See, the I looks like an L. Some people say I am a loser. You know, but I don't think a lot of people believe that. I'm not AI or L. Not L, not AI. I'm Barry Soetoro, Soweto, or whatever it was. I had a lot of names. You know, someone could call you Pookie. You know, that's a name. Brian. Someone might say that's B Dog, B Rye. You know, B to the Izzo or something. Jay-Z, can I say that? I know I'm half white, but do I get the pass to kind of sing the rest of your lyrics? H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy, full shizzle, something. Because I'm about half white, half black, but I identify as black. Not very politically expedient to identify as white. Not a good thing. So Jay, can I sing the rest of that song? Look, Donald Trump. I know you're having problems with me, and I feel bad for your son. Over in Virginia, they got 99 problems, but MAGA ain't one. So vote for my thing, you bony bird-beaked buzzard. Back to the rest of my gobbledygook.
you can push back against the Republicans trying to give themselves an unfair advantage in the midterms.
And you know, look, let me tell you, you know what? In a basketball game, you know, people said I was hip because I could shoot the hoops with my mom jeans. Yeah, daintily throwing out. I look like Mr. Burns. Trying to throw out a first pitch at a Springfield Isotopes game. There I was on the, what's that, South Side of Chicago? In my mom jeans trying to throw a first pitch. Look, but here's the thing. You know what gives people an unfair advantage in sports? If the other side is allowed to score their own points and play defense against your attempts to score on them. That's unfair competitive advantage. That's why we rigged 2020, allegedly. Look, it's why we attacked our opponents. Demonized, weaponized, charged Enrique Tarrio, Oath Keepers, and look, we got a big story about that. Charges drop, way overcharged. You're at a protest and, you wander over there, and you're ushered in to take a couple pictures, and bam, you're in solitary confinement for like 6 years. That was a strong message we sent. Joe Biden, I mean, not me, definitely not my third term. But look, MAGA had to be nailed. It's an unfair advantage in the midterms if Republicans can vote. So what we're trying to do is change the map so it's all blue. No more Republican votes, and then there's no unfair advantage. They can't vote. They can't win. They can't have power. They can't defend themselves. And look, that's the America that I believe in. Going to school at that little red church with my Marxist mommy. Maybe Frank Marshall Davis, maybe the guy from Kenya. Look, I wasn't there. I don't know. The lore of Obama is maybe a little bit more nuanced. But look, no unfair advantage. Virginia, look, we put a fucking CIA asset, Abigail Spanberger, into office. Speaking of pecking at you, doesn't Abigail look like a bird? Yeah, she does. So, look, no unfair advantage in the midterms. Just redraw the district so that no Republican could ever win again. And then the whole future of the country will always be decided by about 7 to 11 states. Specifically, 7 to 11 big cities inside the state. Control the city, conquer the country. That's what we've been doing with our Marxist plans. Deep state Democrats, along with a little help from the RINOs. Don't think John Thune got there based on his political acumen. Might not have been a CIA asset, but damn if it isn't close. Because at the end of the day, look, it's one big club, and you ain't in it, Jack. You didn't earn that. We earned that. We're in the club. It's a little club. You ain't in it, Jack. So, look, no more unfair advantage in Virginia.
Against the Republicans trying to give themselves an unfair advantage
let them
in the
vote.
midterms.
Stop it
By
now.
voting yes, you can take a temporary step.
And by the way, as Ronald Reagan said, there is nothing more permanent than when government tries to tell you something's temporary. You can take that to the bank. But I guess I'm good Obama, bad Obama, sitting on the shoulder. Maybe it's like the Obama translator from Key and Peele. Real funny skit. Because look, when you're trying to put on that face, there's oftentimes a lot of things you want to say. But I had a little bit more latitude after my last election, as I told the Russian delegate, of course. Don't look into Uranium One either. Don't go collecting that dust in Iran. We don't want Hillary, Uranium One, pallets of cash. None of our dirty deeds need to see the light of day. Just sweep that under the rug. Don't go finding those isotope signatures and, bringing it back to me. Remember, this is about Republicans having an unfair advantage of having representation in Virginia. No more representation. That's what we're doing. But look, here's a reminder. This is a temporary step. Because just like the post office raising prices temporarily, 8%, just temporarily. Bullshit. That's going to be permanent. Reagan was right. But I'm here to tell you, look, I'm pretty cool still. I kind of look like Matthew McConaughey in that movie where, he was, you know what he was up to. That Dallas Buyers Club. They called me Bathhouse Barry. Look, obvious reasons. And remember, Joan Rivers said, we already have our first president. A few weeks later, she was gone. she said a little too much. If you know, you know. Not getting into that here. Right now, myself and Abigail Spanberger from the CIA want to stop that competitive advantage of allowing Republicans to defend themselves. We're just going to do this temporarily. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Basically, we had hope and change. Maybe this election could just be Obama. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro, Obama. Trust me, bro, Obama. All right, can we get our marketing team on that one? But look, it's temporary.
By voting yes, you can take a temporary step to level the playing field.
Look, we got some of the smartest viewers out there in independent media. By the way, if you like the New American Media, support them however you can. You know, all the ways: Patreon, PayPal, Cash App, all Venmo, all those things. Look, advocate him. I'll put this up on the screen over my playing field comment. Look, just a reminder that, remember, we told you our inflation, that's only transitory. You know, you transit. It's kind of like train spotting, but actually I sort of look like I'm in train spotting. I have what you call heroin chic or Dallas Buyers Club remorse. I don't know, but I got 2 buttons down and it makes me kind of cool, right? But look, inflation is only transitory. So, you know, look, also advocate him. You know, he's saying, look, like I said, that guy's Voldemort. We don't talk about Voldemort, the Orange Man. Because if he comes in, I know what he's going to say. He's got a couple of catchphrases that guy uses all the time. A lot of people say, they said Barry Soetoro, Soweto, Barack Obama, as they call him. Might not like the guy, fun name to say, Barack Obama. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Lost the doctor. A lot of people said, I lost my healthcare plan. Barry took it away, lied with Obamacare. But Mr. President, don't forget, we've been able to change some of our health and human services practices and procedures and protocols, really changing what we're doing here in the government to kind of assuage and kind of pivot, make another move in another direction. Like that one time I was out and I saw a raccoon and it was dead by the side of the road. I put a pivot, I planted my right foot, and I went left. When they zigged, I zagged. And I got my pocket knife and I took that raccoon penis because I wanted to study it for personal medical purposes. The indigenous people of this continent knew a lot more with scorpion semen, raccoon penis, whale heads, and all of it. So you're doing a good job, Mr. President. A lot of people think I'm doing a great job. I don't often do those 3 characters back to back to back. Thanks for prompting me on that one.
And we're counting on you. Early voting is happening right now. Election day is on April 21st. So go to iwillvote.com/VA to find your closest polling location. Make a plan, show up, and vote yes, Virginia.
All right. So whatever Obama tells you, do the opposite. Vote no, Virginia. Lake Leon says, Obama. He knows nothing will happen to him. He needs to be tried for treason. It's strange with all the trouble coming from them. He's yapping his trap like this. He's still the leader of the party. Mr. Nimbus, what's up, bud? Gonna come back up? Do you want more food? Buddy, gonna come back up? Because you jumped down when you're here. Yeah, it is strange. But there's nobody else keeping it together on that Democrat side. So, oh snap, RFK Jr., let's go. Can't breathe. The regulars here, they know. We've seen you in here a few times. Advocate him. Are you following us and your notification bell turned on for the TNAM Daily Shows and our other shows in between? If not, please do so. Follow us on Rumble, on Instagram, on X, we're at American_media_. I know it's hard to listen to, oh bummer. It's a cadence thing. And, you know, the realization that when he's off teleprompter, look, you know, there's a lot of filler, pause, stalling. That's what they do. And speaking of pause, this guy's got 4 of them. This is Mr. Ben. Mr. Bean, as we call him. Mr. Bean. Look, he's half black, half white, like me. Very Obama. Very Soweto. Very Sotoro. Barack Hussein. Look, half white, half black. Look, that's kind of how we do things over here. Mr. Bean, look, he's one of those jealous types. He sees Mr. Nimbus showing up, you know, kind of getting something. He shows up like a communist. He's like, hey, hold on. I heard you were handing out pets. Look, how about you do that thing to my ear? Or do the chin thing. Do the side of the head thing. I like that. Mr. Bean in the house, everybody. All right, I'm going to keep it moving. Otherwise, I think at this point, I could probably do a 20 to 30 minute podcast as RFK Jr. It's about the controlled breath work. And I've gotten a little extra practice on it. But Obama, you know, and that's the thing. You know, he doesn't just say, you know, he'll say, he gets hung up on a word, and it's a stalling technique. He's, you know, he's not that sharp. He's not that bright. He's not that brilliant. But it's a cadence. It's a tempo. You know, it's a rhythm. And he likes to do that too. And, you know, elongating a word while you're giving yourself a second to think. Yeah. Well, glad you found us. Got a like and a sub from you. Glad you came across our live feed just now. Is this your first time in the show? I thought I've seen your comments in here. But anyway, thanks for following us. Where are you watching from? Vermont is Super Bear. David's Canada. Marion's Texas. Trash Panda's Texas. I like knowing where the regulars are from because it's fun. So anyway, pro tip of the day, whatever Obama's telling you, do the opposite. Yeah, and we heard about, this is where we ended our show last week. I'm recognizing these stories now. I scrolled it back so we could work chronologically. But yeah, there's a global R Academy, hidden network of men encouraging each other to drug and assault their partners and swap stories on how to get away with it. Advocate him says, beautiful cat. Yes, Mr. Ben is a handsome feller. I have an orange one and he's a good boy. Yeah, I had Mr. Morris and he stopped coming around one day. I don't know what happened to him and I love him dearly. I hope he lived well. And if he met his demise, it was a privilege having him in my life. Okay. Hi, bud. What are you doing? What is this story? Eyal Jacoby pushes stuff out there. A UPenn grad, incoming MIT student. Fox News, Washington Post. I'm not familiar with the guy, but he's almost always pro-Israel. I think. He shared this saying that Trump's digital army has been exposed and that bots of 240,000 posts tied to stop Trump's strike. Wolfahuntis calls it a script. The anti-Israel narrative is a script pushed by their anti-West masters, followed by all the bots they have propping them up. You can see here in the dregs of the comments, their bots are already doing the work, and it's even been proven. Well, maybe so, maybe not. I think there's a little bit of both. I think multiple things can be true at once. So we asked Grokt, and they said the script is partially supported, but not fully proven for all comments. Of course, that's a little bit more fair. There you go. Jonathan Turley writes that Democrats are discussing plans after retaking power to change the system so they never lose it again. Twice now as I'm trying to get back into stories, I'm finding myself saying, almost reading it like I'm Obama now. Change the system. so they never lose it again. Anyway, Carville, curiously on a national podcast, says all these things, tells Democrats keep the plans quiet. Quote, don't run on it. Don't talk about it. Just do it. Yeah. Abigail Spanberger. Abigail Spanberger. Advocate him. What does advocate him mean? And by the way, welcome. Thanks for being here. We'll introduce you to all the regulars. We got good commenters here in the comments. In Chicago, you should scroll back to the summer of 2024. The New American Media went there, interviewed all sorts of people, had many interesting interactions for the Democrat convention. Jonathan Turley continues, it's notable that the Democrats want Congress and the courts to push through these changes, not the public. The most voters remain opposed to court packing and making Washington, D.C. a state. Yeah, Democrats have a plan. They must be shattered to 1,000 pieces as a political party and scattered to the wind. Oh, you haven't watched the Bears since 2018. Well, then I'll invite you to be a Browns fan. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. Oh, programming note. Maybe this will get you back into football. Strictly Football will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's myself, Jim Mitchell, Mike Bear, and Ezrael Robinson. Strictly Football, we're going to do a draft preview show, an NFL draft preview show, a mock draft, as it were. And we're going to make our picks. And then, of course, when is it? Thursday? I believe we'll be live on the Unhappy Hour Sports Show covering the NFL draft. So join us and become a subscriber, become a supporter. The more monthly supporters we have, the more we can keep delivering this content to you. I love talking about all things: politics, sports, current events, uplifting stories, fist clenching stories, all of it. All right. Let's see. It's the mentality embodied by the NEA president, Becky Pringle, in the prior election. Jonathan Turley. Oh, how long of a clip is this? This took me to Facebook. All right. Well, Turley's laying out the case here about what the Democrats are trying to do. And he quoted this, so fine. I'll go over here and play you this. National Education Association. They're all in on it together.
NEA delegates, we can do this work.
We
must do this work. We get to do this work. We will do this work.
She's repeating herself. She is a This is a theater kid.
NEA delegates, we can do this work. We must do this work.
Must.
We get to do this work.
Yes.
We will do this work because our students are depending on us to win all the things.
She sucks. To win all the things.
We will do this work because our students are depending on us to win all the things. NEA, we have to win all the things. All the things.
Oh, is she doing the salute? She doing the Roman salute there? Look at that. Zoom in on this lady. You took out Howard Dean for going, we're going to Alaska and Minnesota and Wisconsin. Woo! Okay, NEA lady. This speech sucks. She's funny, though.
All the things. NEA, we have to win all the things. All the things. All the things. Our colleagues are depending on us to win all the things. Keep going, NEA, to preserve our democracy.
Preserve our democracy, says the party that did 2020.
We must win all the things. Delegates, we won't go back. We will keep going forward because we are the NEA. We are the NEA. We are the NEA.
But this is when he
boy.
NEA.
Whew. Independent Women says, if only NEA today, President Becky Pringle was energized about winning all the things that would prioritize the education of students, fix declining test scores, and solve chronic absenteeism, Mr. Bean. Why are people absent? Oh, he's such a purr monster. His motor's been activated with one headbutt. He's like, oh, I'm here for it. Bananas and rice. It's not like bananas and rice. It's like, it's all sorts of things, like bananas and rice. In conclusion, bananas and rice. All the things. Okay, lady. Steiner Kreika, all of the things. NEA will take over the world. World War III will break out based on a first, what do they call it? Preemptive launch or preemptive strike by the NEA. The desk slaps. She was like channeling her inner, is that called manga? Or no, it's called anime, I guess. Probably just anime. She, and all the lightning bolts come in. But it's funny because she is telling on herself. The Democrats are tyrants. They are control freaks. No, not your average run-of-the-mill person that's like, I don't know, I feel like socially liberal. I'm somewhere on that spectrum of, I just feel like we could have a nicer society. And it's like, they're polite, they're helpful, they're hopeful, they're kind of dopes. They don't get, well, I don't know, it kind of, I don't like that guy. That guy, I don't know, he said some stuff I don't like. And so, I don't know, this guy, I don't know that much about him. I'll give him a try. It's like, no! This isn't a popularity contest. It's about the top 1,000 policy choices that they're going to make and the ripple effect, the ramifications of what happens. The butterfly effect is that spirals out to the entire globe. My God, could you imagine being 16 months in on a Kamala Harris fourth Obama term? Are you fucking kidding me? No way. But the Democrats are telling on themselves. They want all of the things. And you're going to take the things that we tell you you're going to take. We're going to shut down your Canadian border. We're going to kick you out of our military. They want all of the things. We must do this work. Marion, legend has it, she's still screaming to this day. Let's see, advocate. I'm a Christian advocate. Christian advocate him. Advocate. Am I saying advocate or advocate? Advocate him means advocate for Christ. It does make sense, yes. It does. All right. Anyway, that's the NEA lady, and that's what Jonathan Turley is saying. It's the same type of energy that Obama and what the Democrats, specifically James Carville, F it, just do it. Carville lays out the Democrat plan to add states and pack the courts. Yeah. Just make sure you are not supporting those people. Vote against Democrats, please. Not an endorsement of the Republican Party. Caitlin Johnstone, who is this? Patreon, PayPal, and then 450,000 followers. She says the number of dead Iranian protesters keeps changing because it's a fictional story. Oh, did you hear that one? That might be a first for me, hearing that this is a fictional story, like it never actually happened. In online discourse with Empire apologists these past few months, I've been told that the number of dead protesters is 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. Okay. Caitlin Johnstone, that doesn't make it incorrect. If all of those numbers are north of 29,000, can you just say 29,000? Or is your contention, is your frustration that it's hard to get a specific number, so I'm going to try to throw the baby out with the bathwater? I don't like when people do that. They get so fixated on one particular thing, they miss the bigger picture. Not a good idea. Maryland Election Integrity Group says, hey, here's this movie. Would you go see this? The Traitor, starring John Thune. When loyalty dies, treason begins. Starring John Thune. What's it say at the bottom? A Washington something true political thriller. There you go. The Traitor, John Thune. When loyalty dies, treason begins. And we could thank Leader John Thune for a midterm loss for Republicans. Better get that Save America bill passed and get it passed immediately. Rumors circulating that the Supreme Court is going to rule on Election Day. No more mail-in ballots. No more. Oh, well, tell me how many your guy had. We're still counting ours. But what was your number again? Okay. Yeah, we'll get ours real quick then. And you're sure yours are completely in? All your votes are in. Yep. All right. We got our number. We're a little higher than yours. Looks like we win again and again and again because we always win. C3 tells us, are you sitting down? Because there are 3,000 to 5,000 non-governmental organizations and nonprofits that handle $50 to $100 billion per year dealing with immigration. This is insane. Of course, there's the USAID kickback, Democrats, Republicans, and judiciaries shaking hands with the non-governmental organizations, laundering the money as kickbacks back through dark money back to Republicans and Democrats in the judiciary. NGOs be like, got any more of those illegal immigrants? It's not Rick James. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Is this an accurate picture? Obama bowing to, who was that? Is that Khomeini? I remember this happening, but now I just want to triple check. 2016 Obama admins giving $1.7 billion cash settlement to Iran, which was a longstanding point of conservative criticism regarding foreign policy. Yes, these are real photos of Barack Hussein Obama bowing to that guy. Bowing. You should bow to no man. I don't like the whole bow thing, by the way. Want to solve this puzzle? Anyone? Bueller? Can I buy an R? A vowel. I'll take an E. Yeah, I'll take that, and I think we'll have this one figured out. All right. Nimbus, what's up? You still hungry? Or you want to come up here again? Come on. Come on, bud. You doing the jump or am I picking you? These guys are just hungry. Yeah, he's yapping from the other room. All right. This is why I keep my door closed usually. But I digress. You know, when you realize your time with your buddy might be winding down, you do what it takes. And try to spend a little bit extra time with them. All right, A.L. Jacoby here again, showing masked Islamists. Olia dined with her in D.C. and a bunch of other photographers, video journalists. Scooter Caster. Masked Islamists wearing Hamas headbands, harassing families eating at restaurants in New York City. The police have to form a circle around the people. How is this flipping New York City? Here we go. In America.
Yo, no one's better than anyone. How can you not know about Palestine?
She got more Botox in her face than don't got ceasefire. She look like Kirsty Noel.
Bob is rubble pie! Bob is rubble pie! Fucking hellfire! You fucking hell! You fucking
She got more Botox in her face than Kirsty Nolan.
Y'all live in a lot of privilege.
He should not be around children.
Look at this coward. Look at this coward in New York City. Got their face covered up like a bunch of cowards. They're cowards.
What did that say about your idea? La ilaha illallah. Shahid Habib Allah.
All right, so that's happening across America, and that's pretty fun. Being out on that professional protest circuit. This is the same group of people that were out there 2024. From the river to the sea, I hate America, go Palestine, Islam is great, America sucks, Republicans suck, white people suck. Okay. It was a hodgepodge of the Democrat Party. That's kind of why they're polling at about 10%. 18%, 17%. Oh yeah, cat duty. First time ever, Ben didn't want the treats that I gave him. I don't know. Nimbus was eating. Good times. But be prepared. It's going to be a very warm summer, is my suspicion. Democrats have to motivate their goons somehow. Democrat Representative Steve Cohen trying to spark division and hatred in this country. He's a goon.
We don't know exactly what street crime is, but we know when we say we're going to go in with ICE and take out the people that committed the most serious offenses, the worst of the worst, and we mentioned crime as homicide, we mentioned rape, we mentioned pedophiles.
And invasion of a country.
We know who those people are, but they're arresting people simply for the offense of being in the country illegally. It's not right, but it's not necessarily something that should cause deep.
You mean they're arresting people for the irrelevant reason of what again?
We know who those people are, but they're arresting people simply for the offense of being in the country illegally.
Does he think this is winning him bonus points? They're arresting people simply for being in the country illegally. Yeah, that's the point. That's why you don't go somewhere illegally.
Pedophiles, we know who those people are.
Good.
But they're arresting people simply for the offense of being in the country illegally. It's not right, but it's not necessarily something that should cause deportation when they are not committing crimes and they are contributing to the economy. So that's a concern we have.
Yeah, it's a concern that you're going to lose some of your Democrat representation because they flock to your big blue cities and you get extra congressional representation and you unfairly push the scales of justice in favor of your party because of that, which means you're going to keep pushing for more of this and it's never going to stop and people aren't going to assimilate. We're not going to have shared cultural values, shared expectations. He's a real clown looking character, is he not? Exactly, David. Got to give him that red nose to. Okay, this is fantastic. We've sort of mentioned Mom Donnie a couple of times. Dude is just awful. It's sort of like let him cook. Yeah, as bad as he is, let him go be bad. People are going to kind of figure it out. So, Mom Donnie goes here and does this routine with Mr. and Mrs. Met.
You guys.
There you go. What a great moment. Mr. and Mrs. Met. The New York Mets haven't won a game since Mr. and Mrs. Met hugged Zoran Mandami. The Mets are now 0-10 since that happened. Hold on, it's been 2 days. Let me check ESPN. This can't still be a streak that's going, is it? Let's go to MLB standings. The Mets, the best roster money could buy. It's the worst roster, 7 wins, tied with the Royals. And they spent like the most money by far. Oh, what's their streak? Shit, they're 0-10 right now. But are they more than 0-10? Where are we at? Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that screen just shifted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games it lost in a row. Look at this. The Diamondbacks, the A's, the Dodgers, the Cubs. Now the Twins are in town. They're 7-15, worst record in the big leagues. But they were like 10-4 when that happened. Like they were doing great when that happened. 0-11. 0-11. So there's something very satisfying about this. Okay, who's this lady? UCC Bishop. You can have lady bishops? I don't know who this lady is, but Protesia. This is what people are going around talking about in these days. You don't need to be a scholar to realize when someone's trying to pull something over on you. Well, this lady's got thoughts.
It's a very dangerous thing that I'm about to say now, but since I'm a bit dangerous.
Oh, lady, you're a bit dangerous. I'm good trouble, sweetie. Corolla talks about that, where there's this thing with leftist ladies. Oh, yeah. Trump wanted to build a ballroom, and I told him, fuck you. They're always bragging about how tough they are. Oh, they're so tough. Oh, they're dangerous and tough.
Thing that I'm about to say now, but it's a very dangerous thing that I'm about to say now, but
tough.
Since I'm a bit dangerous.
Oh, you're a bit dangerous.
I'm
you
of
go,
the
girl.
opinion that we need a third testament because the Bible has become problematic.
Well, the Bible has become problematic. No, the Bible always has been. That hasn't changed since the Council of Nicaea. Can have our debates about prior to that, of course, and Constantine, but the Bible doesn't become problematic. Your reaction to the Bible is problematic.
Because the Bible has become problematic.
It's
dangerous. Your masters as you do the Lord. It's a text. Let the women keep silent in the churches, and if they have any questions, let them ask their husbands at home. Now, I'm a believer. My whole heart, I trust God with my whole heart. I wake up in the morning talking to God and God talking to me. But I am completely frustrated with the ways in which the text speaks to the kind of vitriolic God that makes those kinds of things. And people will say, well, it's in the book. And I said, then we need to pour that page out.
There you go. Now we're getting to it. Slicing and dicing, selectively editing, selectively enforcing, selectively disenfranchising. Yep, we need to tear the page out of that.
And they say, well, you can't do it. It's the word of God. I said, no, it's words about God. Come on now. But is it the word of God? No, it is not the word of God.
It is not the word of God. There are going to be more and more preachers who are preaching gibberish, which is fine if you're into that sort of thing. I would encourage you to avoid that type of thing. Identify it. Listen to the identify those things. Listen for the linguistic cues. Listen for the linguistic cues, okay? Listen to how charlatans talk. Listen to what they say and what they don't say. David, don't worry. The Mets, only another 140 games to play. Yeah, that would be one where they David Letterman would say, it's opening week in Major League Baseball. And what does he say? That means the New York Mets have been officially eliminated. Isn't that right, Paul? I can settle in on a decent Letterman. I gotta kind of wet my palate and remind myself how he does it. I've listened to Frank Caliendo. Well, you know. When he slips into Morgan Freeman, well, you start it and then you kind of live in the moment. But yeah, there were a lot of Cleveland Indians jokes and New York Mets jokes. It's opening week in baseball, which means the Cleveland Indians are officially eliminated from the playoffs. Advocate Him says she should know better. If she's a believer, scripture is plain. Take no word from it and add no words to it, or you'll be judged harshly. Yeah, imagine if you could just take the rule book and change it on whims. Advocate says, oh no, they're arresting people for breaking the law. Who would have thought? Head for the hills. I know. It's the most interesting thing, but let them talk. That's why freedom of speech is so damn important. You don't shut down speech you don't like. You don't rip out pages from the book if it's contradictory to your personal morals or values. You have more conversations. You don't eliminate others. Democrats, Marxists, socialists, communists, New World Orderists, globalists, cultists, they need you to shut the fuck up. They need you to be deleted. They can't stand you existing. Oh, there's a page in this Bible I don't like. Crumple, crumple. Oh. Now that page isn't in the Bible. Well, congratulations. You got your way. Okay, we don't need you yapping in here, pal. My schedule's been so weird for these guys lately. Having me home and having me in here. They don't know what to do. Meow. You were so talkative, dude. But let them talk. You can't exist. We got to delete pages. We got to remove you from society. That's who the Democrats are. By the way, here's Tim Kaine. Remember this guy ran for vice president? Side by side against Tim Waltz. It makes this Tim look pretty normal. Hi, guy. Aw. CIA asset Abigail Spanberger, wolf in sheep's clothing, infiltrates Virginia, tricks voters by not telling her what her real intentions are, and completely destroys that state in a month. Here he is talking about what's going on in Virginia. Do the opposite of what Obama does.
Vote. Vice President Kamala Harris won by about 5 percentage points. So this state is relatively split with a left lean, but 90% of House members from Virginia being from one party?
90% of Virginians are not Democrats. That's true.
Correct.
But about 100% of Virginians want election results to be respected. We're deeply worried that Donald Trump will try to interfere with the election results this November or in 2028.
Hilarious. You mean stop you and your dirtbag Democrats from cheating? You better be worried about that.
Because we saw him do it before. And we have to have a Congress that will stand up to it. In 2021, all 5 Republicans in Virginia went along with Donald Trump in his effort to overturn election results. And so
they're still trying to push that. They're going to say that's overturning. Oh, interesting theory. Because no courts took up the case. They all said they didn't have standing and they let you get away with everything.
So we're giving Virginians a chance to vote, which Republican states have not done, about whether they want to have a congressional delegation that will stand up against Donald Trump's tyranny.
Yeah, we're going to impose tyranny because someone else might have tyranny. Whatever. American Warrior for Christ. Oh, this is a bit of a read, but let's take a look at some pictures and see some monuments to some battlefield actions. So breaking news, 72 killed resisting gun confiscation in Massachusetts. This is in the Revolutionary Times. National Guard Task Force detailed to confiscate a cache of recently banned assault-style weapons. Oh no, this is now. Ambushed by elements of an anti-government paramilitary extremist faction. Military and law enforcement sources estimate that 72 were killed and more than 200 injured before government forces were compelled to withdraw. Speaking after the clash, Massachusetts Governor Thomas Gage, this is old, declared that the extremist faction, which was made up of local citizens, has links to the radical right-wing tax protest movement. Gage blamed the extremists for recent incidents of vandalism directed against internal revenue offices. The governor, who described the group's organizers as treasonous criminals, issued an executive order authorizing the summary arrest of any individual who has interfered with the government's efforts to secure law and order. The military raid on the extremist arsenal followed widespread refusal by the local citizenry to turn over recently outlawed assault-style weapons. Gage issued a ban on military-style assault weapons and ammunition earlier in the week. This decision followed a meeting in early this month between government and military leaders, which the governor authorized the forcible confiscation of illegal arms. One government official, speaking on condition of anonymity, pointed out that none of these people would have been killed had the extremists obeyed the law and turned over their weapons voluntarily. Government troops initially succeeded in confiscating a large supply of outlawed weapons and ammunition. However, troops attempting to seize arms and ammunition in Lexington met with resistance from heavily armed extremists who had been tipped off regarding the government's plans. During a tense standoff in the Lexington Town Park, National Guard Colonel Francis Smith, commander of the government operation, ordered the armed group to surrender and return to their homes. The impasse was broken by a single shot, which was reportedly fired by one of the right-wing extremists. 8 civilians were killed in the ensuing exchange. Ironically, the local citizenry blamed the government forces rather than the extremists for the civilian deaths. Before order could be restored, armed citizens from surrounding areas had descended upon the National Guard units. Colonel Smith, finding his forces overmatched by the armed mob, ordered a retreat. Governor Gage has called upon citizens to support the State National Joint Task Force in its effort to restore law and order. The governor also demanded the surrender of those responsible for planning and leading the attack against the government troops. Samuel Adams, Paul Revere, John Hancock, who have been identified as ringleaders of the extremist faction, remain at large. Samuel Adams, Paul Revere, and John Hancock, who have been identified as ringleaders of the extremist faction, remain at large. And this, fellow Americans, is exactly how the American Revolution began, April 19, 1775. 251 years and a day ago. History, learn it or repeat it. All right, Walter Kurt tells you this. This is a pretty incredible story. Will she ever face justice? I find it absolutely hilarious that Ilhan Omar revised her financials from $30 million to $90,000. It's so Somali. Oh no, they noticed. Oh no, they noticed I'm committing fraud. Some people did some things. Oh no, they noticed I'm committing fraud. Quick, delete everything. Tell them I'm completely broke. They'll never find out now. Comically stupid. Will she ever be prosecuted? Okay, Nebraska, what the hell's wrong with you?
Sends a letter to parents after this man's release on bond. He's accused of trying to assault 2 young girls. A criminal affidavit alleges 34-year-old Zachary Vinton chased an 11-year-old and a 12-year-old at a park. This was near 196th and B Streets. Investigators say when questioned, Vinton said he wanted to have sex with them.
Yeah.
Gretna Public Schools says because it happened near its schools and involves a threat to minors, it wants to make sure families are vigilant. It encourages students to use the buddy system, stay alert, and never approach a stranger. Deputies say anyone who encounters Vinton and feels threatened should call 911 if it's an emergency.
Okay. Yeah, sending a letter to your parents, but hold on. Bias-based electrician says, stop what you're doing and watch this. It's absolutely insane. This creep is arrested for chasing 2 11 and 12-year-old girls in Gretna, Nebraska. When questioned, he says what he says. Then they release him on bond? You don't release demons like that. You keep them. And Gretna Public Schools encourages students to use a buddy system while the predator roams the streets. What the hell are we even doing? You don't let someone like that out. You're chasing kids to abuse them. You never get to leave. There's something wrong in your brain. Speaking of something wrong in your brain, top Democrat political consultant and campaign strategist James Carville states on the left-wing Politicon podcast, that when the Democrats regain power, they plan to grant statehood to Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico so that Democrats can unlock 4 extra seats in the Senate. They want to pack the Supreme Court from 9 justices to 13, adding another 4 left-wing justices to the court. They want to reopen the U.S.-Mexico border and grant mass amnesty to every single illegal alien invader currently inside the United States. His advice to Democrat politicians, don't run on it, don't talk about it, just do it. Never, ever vote Democrat, ever. Super Bear says that is messed up, releasing that guy in Nebraska. Yeah, you give him the electric chair. The recidivism rate of child abusers, it's almost guaranteed. Salty Goat says, all right, liberals tell us if we ban all guns and it saves a single life, then it's worth it. I disagree, but okay, I get what you're saying. Also, if we deport all illegals and it saves a single life, then it's worth it. Interesting how that works, huh? If we ban all illegals, deport them, and it saves a single life, it's worth it. Well, you want to hear what racism looks like? It's Zoran Mamdani. You knew who he was.
You've talked about things that we all care about. You mentioned the disparity between white New Yorkers and black New Yorkers and how those communities have historically had that disparity. What does policy look like for you to address that?
I think first and foremost, you have to acknowledge the truth, right? And it's not an indictment of any one New Yorker. It's an indictment of politics and policies. There's no way that we can accept in New York City where the median household wealth of a black family is less than $20,000
for sure
in the most expensive city in the United States of America. And so part of it is acknowledging, and the next step is to make sure when you're building out your policies, you have equity in that framework. So for example, we have a $1.2 billion deal to deliver universal childcare. We're starting with 4 sets of neighborhoods. We were intentional about also picking the neighborhoods that are often last, the ones that are often overlooked. We're talking about Canarsie, Brownsville, Far Rockaway. Having those be first so that we can see the impacts of that kind of investment in the very communities that are.
Race-based taxes to close the gap. It says white households have 200,000 median wealth, while blacks have 20,000 median wealth. Openly admitting he'll punish success by skin color. When the left says they want equity, this is what they mean. To the rest of us, this is straight up discrimination and racism. Pretty sure New Yorkers didn't ask for nor want this, except they weren't paying attention when we were trying to warn them. Nope. Instead, they were busy but trumping everything we said or told them. Anyways, it's too late now. Flee blue cities, flee blue states. C3 asks, why hasn't the Save America Act passed? Members of Congress, 535 of them. Registered D.C. lobbyists, 14,000. Bribes by D.C. lobbyists, $5.08 billion. How many D.C. lobbyists per member of Congress? 26. Bribes by D.C. lobbyists per member of Congress, almost 11 million. It's taxation without representation, and it's sick. Mila Joy is laughing so hard right now. Abigail Spanberger, CIA Democrat deep state asset, is withholding no tax on tips and no tax on overtime from their citizens, even though it's now the law. Imagine being so evil that you're withholding money from those that need it the most. You get what you vote for, Virginia. CUNY law professor says NYPD gang database. Well, she's got a problem with it. Interesting take.
We must erase the database.
Erase the base.
Entirely. It must be abolished, especially as you watch the government put people who they claim are gang members onto planes and send them to, and just remove them. There is no safe database. There's no reforming this. A list that 30,000 officers can access on their phone must be abolished, particularly in this day and age with federal law enforcement moving in on our communities. We did make a statement too, part of affordability is being able to walk to school without having to go around 3 blocks. It's being able to go to school or your job without getting picked up by the police, held for several hours and debriefed. Being on this database means that they are picking up people constantly and making their lives utterly unaffordable, and that's utterly racialized. So if he cares about affordability, the Gangs Coalition has taken the position, that's one more reason to erase the database. This is not a safe tool to be shared, nor is it a safe tool, or rather a weapon to be left in the hands of the NYPD. If someone has a criminal conviction, that information is available to them. Labeling people based on you posted rest in peace to my friend or happy birthday to the other person or you live in this building is not a reason to tax that individual as they walk down the street, to stop them, to arrest them for littering or jaywalking.
No, you shouldn't be arrested for littering or jaywalking. You should just do whatever you want all the time, say the Democrats.
Or ticket them. These are the harms that happen all the time to people in the database. So affordability requires eliminating the database and
eliminating a database. Your long laundry list of previous misdeeds should be overlooked always.
Investing in much less expensive alternatives that we'll hear more about.
Don't vote Democrat anywhere. She calls a database a weapon. It's not a safe tool, it's a weapon. Unreal. Nigel Farage says X is becoming dangerous. I thought we liked Nigel Farage. Basil the Great calls him absolutely pathetic. What is this?
I would add that the online abuse on X that our minority candidates are receiving is utterly appalling in every way. And if it was happening to any other candidates from more established parties in the sense of their age, you would all be in total uproar. And I've not heard a single person comment on it. It really, really is bad. And X is now becoming a very unpleasant and very dangerous place.
Okay, well, what are you up to, Nigel? Nigel says he's making a British patriotic party. Nigel stands loads of migrants as candidates. People on X point out he's betrayed everyone. Nigel cries to the lefty media asking them for help. Absolutely pathetic. We got this story. Got a few more in the stack here. I'm going to do this a little out of order. Proud Boys were innocent. Gitmo here posted, Proud Boys are innocent. The star witness who convicted the Proud Boys of seditious conspiracy just recanted. His name is Jeremy Bertino. He was the entire case, says Gitmo. The prosecution had nothing without him. Here's what he's now saying publicly. The FBI threatened him with 25 years in prison, told him what to say, coached him until he said it the way they needed. Then they put him on the stand. So things are changing. AUSA Jocelyn Balante, according to John Basham, political op-ed analyst. Jocelyn Ballantine coerced Jeremy Bertino into lying under oath in Proud Boys case and tried to get Noble One to lie, saying Trump wanted him to storm the Capitol. Valentine is the same assistant AUSA who got alleged J6 pipe bomber Brian Cole's confession. Oh, I wonder if that's in doubt now. No wonder they dismissed the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers cases. By the way, scroll back on Rumble and YouTube to see my interview with Stuart Rhodes. One of several if you scroll back 15 years.
Jocelyn, I'm Joseph Philip Daniel. My recommendation is to not work for the deep state, okay? You failed to take down Flynn, Enrique Tarrio, and others. Just resign now, okay? Quit. God's watching us all. We're going to reap what we sow, Jocelyn. We can't get away with anything. We're answering to Jesus soon, Jocelyn. Jocelyn.
So that case is falling apart. Can't X out of this post here. But now that the star witness who convicted the Proud Boys of seditious conspiracy just recanted, it shines light on other stuff. By the way, one of the messages I got back about this conversation was I kind of shared this. I don't know where this post is. I was looking for this. Justice Department moves to toss seditious conspiracy convictions of Oath Keepers and Proud Boys. Lincoln Square shared this and said the request by the Justice Department would go a step further and erase all the convictions for extremist group leaders, including Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes, who didn't receive pardons last January. The reaction I got back in a text about what do you think about this was, honestly, I thought the seditious conspiracy, air quote, charges were pretty blown out of proportion in the first place. I think when he did the nearly blanket pardon, Trump, there was rhetoric of, oh, well, we're not pardoning the violent ones, but that wasn't even remotely true. The pardon included a guy that that threw a bomb in the tunnel that I filmed, people who carried guns, people who smashing cops with a bat that I watched happen and filmed, people who tased police. Instead of actually looking case for case to make the exception, Trump just didn't give the pardon, only the commutation to a handful of people convicted of seditious conspiracy. I don't think that was equitable. I think it was easy. So yeah, at this point now, correcting that by fully dropping charges against Stuart Rhodes, etc., I think makes sense. It was a dumb carve-out to begin with. So I find that to be an incredibly interesting component. Everybody hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, share this show with your friends. Consider dropping a Rumble rant or a super chat. We are 2/3 of the way through April, and the April numbers on YouTube are ready for a boost. Oh boy, are they ready for a boost? Let's take a look comparing the months. Yeah, April is 1/4 of our slowest month of November, and we're 2/3 through it. Does that make sense? We're 2/3 through April, and we're only 25% of the way up to our slowest month in Super Chat tips. So if anyone out there is enjoying the content, consider dropping a tip on YouTube Super Chats. All right. That story was to get back to this one. I watched this full episode, Adam Carolla, talking about the Jan Sixers.
They're letting these fraudsters off with a slap on the wrist because...
Really?
Well...
He's talking about the Somalians. And I have a nice... We talked about Ilhan Omar. We have more.
Let's put it to you this way, Drew. And think about... Well, let's think about the courts, right? That is your constituency, the Somalians. They're the proudest, hardest working people. They built Minnesota. I don't know if you heard. And that's your constituency. And so what you do is you look the other way while they defraud the government, while they vote for you, and then you pander to them. Okay. But at some point, Nick Shirley shows up and it makes headline news, and now you got to do something. So you got to do something about this. So you have to prosecute. Otherwise, you're going to be prosecuted for not prosecuting these people. So you prosecute. Right. But who's the judge? It's a lefty Democrat who lives in Minneapolis who feels like you do. So what do we do when the person rips off the government? Do we throw the book at them? No. We give them the minimum sentence and we let them go. And that way... It seems like the fraud isn't as great as it is because you don't have a bunch of people in jail and a bunch of indictments and things like that. Now, what do you do conversely when we're talking about January 6th? Oh, that's different. Now, you got some veteran who wandered onto the grounds and was just walking around while he's being guided by Capitol Police. That guy's got to do hard time because we need to make a point because we need to pad this. We need to talk about how horrible it is and how many commit. Like you got Joe Biden. There's a clip of Joe Biden that Andrew can find maybe where he's up there and he's going, there's been over 11,000 years combined of court, confinement with these. Oh, I get it. You're padding. You like that. So you're taking guys who are taxpayers, who wandered into the rotunda and then turned around and left, and that guy's doing 4 years.
Yep.
You got the Somali guy who's ripped off people to the tune of $10 million, and they get 6 months. Oh. Well, what are we doing here? We're making our point. You know what I mean? Like, listen.
Yeah.
If you're an American and you're involved with January 6th, and you get pulled up in front of that D.C., Biden elected or appointed judge, you are fucked.
Yeah.
You are fucked. But conversely, if you happen to be Somalian who ripped off everyone for a decade and you got the bleeding heart female, Obama appointed judge, then you're fucking great. Is that how you want the system to work?
Two-tiered justice. Definitely get
They're letting
selective enforcement. And Matt Van Swol now, he's not believing much of anything. He goes, I hate to say it, but I'm struggling to be generous after all the fraud that we've seen. That's the only reasonable take, in my opinion. There's so few charities that I trust now. I do a deep dive on a homeless charity. Oh, look, my tax dollars are funding that, and it's run by a Trump-hating leftist. A Christian charity. Oh, look, they're helping illegal aliens. An education nonprofit. Oh, look, it's getting money from left-wing political groups to send in Democrat activists to give lectures on LGBT, etc., oppression. Even my tax dollars I know are being used to fund some BS nonprofit that probably has me on a list somewhere as an extremist and is actively trying to cancel me. It's hard to be generous when I'm already being generously stolen from in taxes and when the nonprofits aren't actually solving the problems they reportedly exist to solve. Feeling that way? Nick Shirley commenting on the Ilhan Omar change of pace.
When she says something like that.
Well, it's a bit suspicious to have your net worth go up by millions and then just recently say that it's an error. I mean, I don't think I've ever put 2 extra zeros as an error when I file any report. So Ilhan Omar, we know who she is. We know that she's like the queen of the fraud, actually. And so Ilhan Omar, no respect to her whatsoever.
Yeah. When she's.
But will she ever be held accountable? Nick Sorter says the IRS should go hard after Ilhan. I mean, just is anyone going to get in trouble for anything? John Solomon gives us this update about the CIA. 51 spies, more than 51 spies, caught planning a coup in 2020.
A short while ago, Just the News obtained this email. This is a very important email. It comes from the former CIA director, Mike Morrell. Yes, the guy.
Mike Morrell.
That organized that letter from the 51 intelligence professionals who tried to fake you into thinking that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation when it wasn't.
The 51 intelligence agents who lied. David says he keeps hearing. I know, and I keep hearing it too. All I hear is that arrests are imminent and very soon. Yeah, free crab tomorrow. Come back tomorrow, and on the side of the building it still says free crab tomorrow. No, but tomorrow's got to be the day. Nope, free crab tomorrow. Dan Bongino left. Pam Bondi left. Kristi Noem left. Greg Bovino left. Yeah, can we define soon? Like while we still have a country to save prior to our 250th birthday party in 3 months? Please.
It is between him and John Brennan, one of the signatories. You know who John Brennan is? He was Obama's CIA director, right? He's the guy that told Obama, hey, Hillary Clinton is doing a dirty trick on Donald Trump called Russia collusion. Well, this is just before the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Hunter Biden's laptop is flinging out there. This is what Mike Morrell, former CIA director, tells his successor, John Brennan, hey, sign this letter because I'm, quote, trying to give the campaign, particularly during the debate on Thursday, a talking point to push back on Trump on this issue. A man with a security clearance, a man with the title of CIA director, knew that he wasn't creating an intelligence product, a mere civic duty with 51 people. He was trying to create a political moment. Damning evidence. We'll try to find out if Congress has this letter, but this is a very important piece. It is the ultimate proof that what went out on that letter was a political dirty trick coordinated with the Biden campaign.
Yeah, the deep state, the Biden campaign, and Obama at the top of it, working with them. Talking about the corruption, I mean, geez, you so much of it throughout this whole stack of stories today. Steve Hilton wants to point out. Well, hold on. New York Times did a story about how Gavin Newsom boosted his book sales with $1.5 million from his own political action committee. These people are professional scammers. This is what they do. This is what they think government is. This is the system they've built. Oh, yeah, we're going to give billions and billions to Ukraine, and then the Ukrainian oligarchs are going to funnel some of that money back into the Democrat. That's what Sam Bankman-Fried, wasn't that exactly what he was up to? Allegedly. They've got a lock on the graft, and we got to change it. Steve Hilton, who's running for governor, good luck to him. He's pushing for $3 gas, a home you can afford, and end insane bureaucracy. Make the Golden State golden again. He says Gavin Newsom's bestseller, air quote, memoir, just got the ultimate California treatment. His PAC, Political Action Committee, dropped $1.56 million of donor cash to buy 67,000 free copies and mail them to anyone who donated any amount. That's 2/3 of all his print sales. Nothing says young man in a hurry like rigging your own book numbers with political slush funds while California burns. Thank you, Steve Hilton. Democrats might actually try to run this guy for president. David talking about how indictments should be imminent. I don't know exactly about it, but it came from Cash's mouth. Yeah, and there's, like I said, there's rumors that Cash might be leaving, that some of the betting sites are projecting that to happen. I'm not so sure. Maybe give you a second of this one. InfoWars. This is Joe Biggs. Maybe kind of talking about the DOJ dismissing seditious conspiracy charges against Proud Boys leader.
Now I'm a free man. I can have my guns back. We didn't even talk about that. You get your guns back, travel the world, and get your military benefits. And on top of that, they're going to pay you, I guess, wrongful imprisonment, some back pay there, plus your back pay that you weren't getting for having disability. So the title of this document is Unopposed Motion to Vacate Convictions and Remained for Dismissal with Prejudice. That's ironclad right there. That's about as ironclad as you're going to get from the government. Let me tell you.
It's probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. Like, I keep reading it over and over, and I just salivate.
We interviewed Joe Biggs on the campaign trail in 2016. I think he was on the intro to one of our other shows.
Free man. Before he was sort of like kind of free, but now he's 100% free. Joe Biggs, Proud Boy, former InfoWars reporter. How are you doing today, sir?
And future millionaire.
Aren't we all?
Eat that, Joe Biden.
It won't be worth as much, though.
It's pretty sweet after 4 years or 5 years of hell. I'll be glad to get whatever I can.
How did you get the news of this? Like, how did it come to you?
So yesterday, I'm riding my motorcycle. I'm actually driving up to the motorcycle shop to check on my other bike that was in there, getting work done. And I'm riding home, and my phone starts blowing up. My friend Amy calls me, then Enrique calls me, then Ethan Nordine and Zach Rill. And I finally get to the house, and I call Enrique back first. And I go, all right, this many people don't call me ever. I'm not someone that likes to be on the phone. And Enrique goes, well, I've got good news and I've got bad news. He goes, the bad news is I can promise you, you're not going to get a pardon. And I go, well, that's kind of an asshole thing to say, buddy. He goes, well, you're not going to need one because they're dropping all the charges tonight. And I go, what? And he sent me a screenshot from the DOJ, and it says, we are dropping your charges and what do you call it? Making it like it never happened.
It was dismissed without prejudice.
Yes,
with prejudice. I'm sorry, dismissed with prejudice is what.
Yeah, so they can never bring this up again. I can never be charged again.
Yeah.
That means it's like, it's just been a 5-year nightmare that I've got to wake up from, but at the end of the day, guess what? It's made me a better person. I've learned a lot from it, and I've gotten to see the inside. So most people don't have to go through that. I now have an inside knowledge of what the prison system's like, what it's like to go through a federal trial when it says United States versus your name.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing more frightening than seeing the world's most powerful government, take you to court and strip everything from you. And, I had lost hope for a while. I didn't think that I was going to get vindicated at all. And I just started accepting the fact that, I'm not going to get a pardon. And I just need to learn to live life as a multi-felon domestic terrorist. So I'm working on starting a new business. All this stuff's going. And then this happens and drops on me. And it's just, it's surreal. I don't even believe it's actually happening. So I keep pinching myself, and I'm still waiting on it to fully hit me. My girlfriend, she's breaking down crying throughout the day. My mom, I haven't heard her crying forever. And she's, I spoke to her on the phone yesterday, and to hear her cry like that, it just, it feels good, but it eats away at you. We needed a win.
Exactly.
We've been without a win for a while. And it's surprising, what people aren't going to understand, are not going to believe is, Harmeet Dillon, she reached out to Enrique, said
So some things are happening in government. Some sort of cleanup is occurring from the third Obama term of Biden and what they went after with their whole insurrection scam.
Something's coming down the pipe tomorrow. You guys are going to be very happy. Then we get that news. And she said the person to thank for this all was Todd Blanche, that he actually is the one that pushed it through.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah. And that actually is very surprising, because he seemed like, anybody who spoke out against anything, he didn't, he's already publicly spoken out against Alex Jones. But I guess Pam Bondi was holding this up at the end of the day. She was the one in the way saying, no, we're just going to leave these little tentacles stuck to these guys so they have to go with this for the rest of their life, because all they did was do what the president asked, to go peacefully and patriotically go to the Capitol and let your voices be heard. And, for doing that, you got fired upon, rubber bullets, there was tear gas. It just turned into mayhem. And not to mention, we had a black DoorDash driver place 2 bombs, right? Isn't that what the government also said? So, all this craziness that has been going on, and finally you do get some real, you're not necessarily getting restitution, but you're getting to start it at 0 instead of being, 6 miles back at the starting line.
Well, so I'm pretty sure I told you this a while back, but I guess maybe 7 months ago, the VA office in DC called me, and it was the secretary of the VA, Doug Collins, and she goes, he'd like to talk to you. We saw you had some complaints online about, your benefits and things like that. So she patches me through, and he tells me, he goes, look, without a pardon, there's nothing I can do. You can't go to the VA. I'm sorry. You're not going to get paid. He goes, if by miracle everything gets vacated like what happened yesterday, then you will get back pay. So
wow,
this is what I have coming to me now. I have 4 years at 100% disability back pay coming to me. The full restoration of my rights as a military veteran with honors, Purple Heart.
You're getting your medals back as well, right?
Yep, everything.
Wow. Congratulations.
Access to the VA for the first time. I can go see a dentist in 5 years.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to.
That's crazy.
Be that person. But, I'm getting that money guaranteed. Then, now that it's been vacated and they've dismissed it based on the fact that they said that there was so much negligence and so much corruption in the prosecution of us, it's $10,000 a day for illegal detainment. So $10,000 a day times 4 years, you get that as well. Then you get other stuff through other things I've got to look into, but then also we are suing the DOJ for $200 million. And it's weird because the day before yesterday, before we got the good news, the new judge over our civil case says that our case has merit, and we haven't heard that before. It's always been juking and jiving. So I think she knew what was about to happen, but this completely gives us the ability to win that. And things are going to look good.
It sounds like they're trying to go for a settlement is what this is. It looks like it's hey, y'all drop the charges. And that's probably what they're going to try to do is say, y'all drop the charges. We're giving you this olive branch, but I think go.
Yeah, you're right. 5 years of hell. For all of us, half a decade of hell. Not to mention the 4 years they sabotaged the first term. Not that Trump's has a magic wand to fix everything, but my God, we've been taking this country off track for decades. And we just don't have anywhere. Back's already up against the wall. 5 years of hell.
Go with what you can get and what you can prove, especially with the way this whole thing was railroaded from start to finish, the demonization afterwards, the continued demonization by the press. As the Proud Boys, who were just a group.
Anyway, I could listen to this whole interview. I'm going to wrap it up here, but go check it out in InfoWars. It's on our X feed right here. We did share this recently. Second to last story. Maybe we'll lead with this one tomorrow. We'll talk about Rossini, the sports journalist who was fired after being in a kind of perhaps in some sort of thing with Patriots coach Mike Vrabel. People being fired, and are you sleeping your way to the top, sleeping with someone for access? That's sort of like the Washington, D.C. insider story, isn't it? Power, control, money, manipulation, bribery, blackmail. The more you learn, the more it sort of seems like Mike Pence was onto something. I'm not going to be alone with somebody anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to ever have the opportunity where someone else could accuse me of something bad. Not doing it. So Anyway, maybe we'll start the show tomorrow on that story. I haven't really dug into it. This is a fairly in-depth article. This guy says, Tommy Callahan, this is still the most accurate report you'll find on the Vrabel Rossini story. He says he was throttled after publishing. And I'll get into it tomorrow. But happy 420 out there to those of you who celebrate. I'm your bartender. I always appreciate tips. I need... This is how I work. I stand on the street corner singing with my guitar case open. If you like what you're hearing, consider dropping something into our Rumble rant tip jar on Rumble. Drop something into our PayPal, our Venmo, our Cash App, our YouTube Super Chats. Become a monthly subscriber to Patreon, Rumble, or YouTube. We always appreciate all of that. Dina, what's up, Dina? Showing up right at the end of the program. Just hit the 2-hour mark, so we are wrapping for today. But rewind, hit the beginning of the show. I sort of got locked into like a 20-minute back and forth conversation with RFK Jr., President Trump, and Barack Obama. Had some of the commenters encouraging me, so I stayed in that zone for a little while. It was kind of fun if you roll back to that moment. But yes, have a great day, everyone. Get outside and get caught up on the things you need to do. Look inside and get caught up on the things that you need to do. Get caught up, get motivated, get active, crush your day, be positive as best you can. Dina just woke up. Dina, where are you watching from again? Remind me. I don't recall where are you Washington? Are you on the West Coast? It's already 2:00 here. Just waking up. Would that be 11 a.m. waking up somewhere or 2:00? I lived a lot of my life where I was up till sunup. Till sunrise, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the morning. And I'd sleep all through the day. And I'd get up around 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. But yeah. I'm more getting up early. Although, man, those first two couple of... Michigan. Gotcha. Those first couple of snoozes, man, they are enticing. I think I used 2 of them today, and I could have used those 2 extra hours. So, just a reminder, try to get up a little bit earlier, get a little bit more done. It's like there's never enough time in the day. Well, what if you get up a little earlier, stay up a little later? I don't know. We're all looking for answers in that regard, but it's all just it's just a ride, folks, and we're here along for the ride. Listen to Richard C. Hoagland, too. Okay, Southeast Michigan. In Michigan, they go, where are you at? Are you here? Yeah, because I went to school like right here at Bowling Green in Ohio. Southeast. Yeah, that's close to right by 75. I mean, we were like an hour 15 away from Detroit, hour and a half away from Windsor, Canada. Good times. Got to live a little bit while you're alive. All right, everybody. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button, share this show. Please click the share show link and text a few of your friends and go, hey, we do the show Monday through Friday at noon. It's a good show, good community of people having a good time. And we are ready to grow, and we grow with your support, with your help. And we'll be back tomorrow at noon. All right, everybody. Thank you, John and Marion and David and Dina and Advocate and everybody who was in chat making this a fun show. Super Bear up in Vermont. Don't let me forget that's Vermont for Super Bear. Now I can see a Care Bear with the letter V. I need to use a mnemonic device. I can see a Care Bear wearing a V for Vendetta, V for Vermont. Because his stage name is Super Bear. Yeah, we had a lot of fun on today's program. So... thank you, everybody. The New American Media exists so you can have another platform. Follow us on all the platforms. I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Special NFL draft show tomorrow. Strictly Football. Myself, Mike Barra from the Y-Files and Coast to Coast. He's on with Season 2, Episode 31, Strictly Football. We're going to do our NFL mock draft show with Ezrael Robinson, Jim Mitchell, and myself. Strictly Football. Tomorrow at 3, but tomorrow at noon will be the TNAM Daily Show. Where did I leave it off? I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
TNAMDailyShow.com.